Preston. Despite the protests of many Japanese, the Summer Olympics go on in Tokyo. And now COVID cases outside the Olympic bubble in Tokyo are surging.
2,848 new infections were reported across Tokyo on Tuesday, exceeding the one-day high by more than 300. But among the thousands of people associated with the Games, only 0.02% have tested positive. And Mark Adams of the International Olympic Committee says,
I know from my experience, I think a lot of countries would be incredibly happy with that figure.
As with other countries, Japan has seen a dramatic increase in positive tests among younger, unvaccinated people. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Tokyo.
Mask mandates are being implemented indoors in a lot of places across the country as Delta variant cases increase.
President Biden announcing the VA will become the first federal agency to mandate vaccines for 115,000 frontline workers.
Veteran Affairs is going to, in fact, require that all docs working in facilities are going to have to be vaccinated.
The VA revealing in recent weeks it lost 4 workers who were unvaccinated, 3 to the Delta variant.
ABC's Eva Pilgrim, a crowd gathering in Washington last night to pay tribute to those lost during the pandemic. The House today beginning its in-depth look into the Capitol Hill riot. ABC's Faith Abube is in Washington.
4 police officers who defended the U.S. Capitol on January 6 kickstart the House Select Committee's investigation into the deadly attack. Each expected to vividly detail their experiences with new graphic video from that day guiding today's hearing.
Among those testifying, D.C. police officer Michael Fanone.
To me, what's important is that the information gets out so that people really understand what happened that day.
Fanone says he was struck numerous times with a taser device, suffered a traumatic brain injury and a heart attack, and now he's dealing with PTSD. You're listening to ABC News.
Can you name the 3 habits of healthy hygiene? We shower, we brush our teeth, and we... Wait a minute. What third habit? Think about it. The pandemics reminded us that the nose is your body's filter against a constant invasion of airborne germs. Your nose traps allergens, bacteria, and viruses, but like any filter, the more it's clogged up, the less it works. Now it's easy to clean your nose with Navage. My name's Martin Hoke, and I did not invent nasal irrigation. It's been around thousands of years, but I did invent Navage to make nasal irrigation an easy habit for everyone. Navage uses powered suction to flush out germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you very sick. People love Navage. It has 4.7 stars with over 70,000 online reviews. And over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and select Walmarts. Make cleaning your nose your third habit. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Closing arguments are expected today in the trial of a man accused of killing a woman who got into his car thinking it was her Uber. Prosecutors say Nathaniel Rowland stabbed University of South Carolina student Samantha Josephson 100 times. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Prosecutors showed surveillance video from the night Josephson was abducted from Columbia's popular 5 Points district. It shows Josephson first trying to get into another car, mistaking it for her Uber. Then a Chevy Impala, which investigators say is Rowland's car, is seen circling the area for 10 minutes. The Impala eventually pulls into a parking spot only feet away from Josephson before she gets in.
Starting today at the Vatican, a trial of 10 defendants, including a cardinal, facing charges that include fraud and embezzlement. A California 18-year-old now telling the story of how she survived an attack by a crocodile that tried to drag her into the ocean in Mexico. Here's ABC's Megan Tervrisian.
Kiana Hummel was swimming outside the Marriott Hotel in Puerto Vallarta when she was attacked.
All of a sudden it came up and then I felt heaviness on my leg and then I looked down and I feel like I'm getting pulled.
One witness remembers watching the croc drag her into the ocean. The group watched Hummel battling the crocodile, its teeth digging into her right shin and then her left ankle.
Another woman reportedly attacked by a crocodile on the same beach in Puerto Vallarta 3 years ago. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Ready for your next road trip? Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need to stay safe while traveling. Visibility on the road is so important and so easy to achieve. Get your windshield streak-free and crystal clear with Blue Magic Glass Cleaner. On sale now, 2 for $5. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the best.
Today, we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms that are out there early continue to move out. Highs will head into the upper 80s and lower 90s, but those feels like temperatures are going to crank up into the upper 90s, even the triple digits in a few spots. And we have another chance of seeing late afternoon and evening showers develop across our southern counties. That will continue to drift towards the south as we head into tonight. Temperatures will fall into the low to mid 70s. Highs will reach the lower 90s tomorrow with feels like temperatures in the triple digits. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Boy, we had a thunder boomer go through yesterday afternoon, didn't we? Heavy rains, thunder, lightning. We may have another one of those this afternoon. It's in the forecast of a possibility of thunderstorms, maybe about 60%. And then maybe again tonight some rain showers. But after tonight, Wednesday through next week, first of next week, it's all mostly sunny with warm temperatures. 94 on Wednesday, 97 on Thursday. Right now we are at 70, climbing up to 89 for a daytime high. And it is foggy out there this morning. If you haven't been out yet, please make note of the foggy conditions and leave a little extra early for going somewhere so you can avoid the fog. 6 minutes after 7, I have now these death announcements. Elizabeth Ann Carpenter Thompson, 86, died July 24th. A private funeral service be held at New Hope United Methodist Church, Polk County. McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Elizabeth Ann Carpenter Thompson. Margaret Lucille Connor Jones, 93, of Rutherford, died Saturday, July 24th at Hospice House of the Carolina Foothills. The family will receive friends today from 11 until 12 noon at Eggers Funeral Home at Cliffside. The funeral service will be at 12 noon in the A.C. McKinney Memorial Chapel at Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside. Burial will follow in the Rock Springs Baptist Church Cemetery in Rutherford. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside, serving the family of Margaret Lucille Connor Jones. Thomas E. Morrow, age 93, died Tuesday, July 20th in Wilmington. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary. Again, that's Thomas E. Morrow. Lester Wayne Murray, age 87, of Mooresboro, died Saturday, July 24th. At home, funeral arrangements incomplete and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory. For Lester Wayne Murray. Helen Virginia Silvers, 85, of Poors Ford Road, Rutherford, passed away Sunday, July 25th at Oak Grove Healthcare. The celebration of life for Helen will be held at a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Helen Virginia Silvers. Gail Jenkins, age 74, of Knoxville, formerly of Spindale, passed away Friday, July 23rd. At the Turkey Creek Medical Center in Knoxville. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Wednesday, July 28th. Burial will follow in Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Gail Jenkins of Knoxville. Francis Jackson Robbins, 90, of Forest City, died Monday, July 26th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock Thursday, July 29th at Southern Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Visitation will be from 12:30 until 1:45 Thursday at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of those arrangements for Francis Jackson Robbins. Robert Bob John Thomas, 70, of Rutherfordton, passed away July 12th. The Mass of Christian burial will be held at 11 o'clock Saturday, July 31st at Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Forest City. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Robert John Thomas. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. Well, complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report here on the Most Information for the Foothills. 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB in Rutherford. And we thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice for the Foothills. Thank you for being with us each morning as we start our day together. Keeping you informed as well as entertained is our goal right here at WCAB. Stand by. The Bill O'Reilly Morning Update is next.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, as you know, Joe Biden won the election, and the economic future in the country is a bit cloudy. That's why I am recommending you diversify with gold and silver. And the only company I trust is American Hartford Gold. Please call them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold itself is up 40%, silver up 60%. So don't wait. Call 877-444-GOLD. 877-444-GOLD Gold, or text GOLD to 65532. On this Tuesday, it is hard to believe that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi believes that anyone would believe anything she and her House panel come up with in regards to the January 6th Capitol riots. Mrs. Pelosi is so partisan that even if the panel uncovered something important, only people like Nancy Pelosi would believe it. No one else would, even if it were true. So the Speaker is speaking to the choir only. Her credibility is no good elsewhere. There may have been nefarious forces behind the Capitol violence. That is possible. But isn't the FBI investigating that? I believe they are. Does Nancy Pelosi even know that? Is Nancy's panel better than the G-men? What gives here? Well, what gives is politics. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats need a wedge issue next year, 2022, in the midterm elections. Right now, it does not look good for the Democrats. But if they can make headlines by a compliant media that Donald Trump and Republicans were behind the House invasion, they can divert attention from what may be a very bad midterm election for the Democrats. Now this. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
When the Braves take the field, count on your home for Atlanta Braves baseball to bring you every huge game.
One pitch is hit high in the air and deep to right field. Kiss it goodbye. Touch all four this time, Ozzie.
Tonight, it's an epic division showdown in the Big Apple as Ozzie Albies and the Braves look for an NL East win against the New York Mets. Braves Radio goes on the air at 5:55 Eastern, 4:55 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
With the end of the Civil War, the enlistment of over 1 million Union soldiers ended. Generals became colonels and colonels became lieutenants. Washington was tired of war. Of course, there were still hostilities in the West, but the West was so remote the Indian problems were easy to ignore. However, before Congress placed all of their attention elsewhere, on July 28, 1866, they did establish 4 regiments to fight Indians and protect settlers. They were the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th and 25th Infantry. These regiments comprised of freed slaves. Although some 175,000 blacks had fought on the side of the Union during the Civil War, many officers didn't believe they could be trained or would be willing to fight. But they were proven wrong. In 1867, for 6 hours, 34 black troopers successfully held off an attack by a much larger group of Cheyenne. The Indians called them buffalo soldiers because their hair resembled that of a buffalo. These buffalo soldiers fought against Cheyenne, Comanche, Sioux, Kiowa, Ute, and Apache. During a time when military desertion was high, the buffalo soldier desertion rate was the lowest in U.S. military history. Between 1870 and 1890, they fought in over 200 engagements. 14 buffalo soldiers were awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Incidentally, during World War I and World War II, black segregated units honored these early soldiers by wearing a round patch containing a picture of a buffalo. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
For a rootin' tootin' great meal, let Jesse James prepare your next lunch. He's got a menu chock full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, and onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesdays and Sundays. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. Call 447-4644. And don't forget the 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions on Mondays only.
Well, on this foggy Tuesday morning, let's get started with our news hour. Find out what's been going on around our neighborhood. 16 minutes after 7. We're going first to the Sheriff's Department, and Sergeant Stroud is on the phone with me right now to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well, sir. Hope you are.
Doing pretty good. Busy morning, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But all ready to go for you. The past 24 hours, we've answered 156 calls for service, made 13 arrests, and have 194 inmates in the jail. Arrested, we have Joshua Airwood of Ellenboro arrested, charged with communicating threats. He issued a $1,000 secured bond. Also have Jimmy Scott Walker of Mooresboro arrested, charged with possession of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. He was issued a $10,000 secured bond. Got Bryson Coedney of Balsick arrested, charged with communicating threats, issued a $3,000 secured bond. And Christopher Starkland of Ellenboro arrested, charged with resisting arrest, failure to heed the blue light and siren, and a fictitious tag. He was issued a $1,250 secured bond. Forensic reports, Lisa Kicklighter of Ellenboro reported credit card fraud, and looks like she was defrauded out of $1,095.35 from a bank account. Joseph Pye of Blacksburg reported a larceny of motor vehicle with a 2004 Audi valued at $3,000. And Patricia Wooten of Rutherfordton reported a larceny of motor vehicle. It was a 2000 Nissan valued at $500, and that one was actually recovered with assistance from State Highway Patrol. And that's all I got for you this morning.
Have something going on this morning, even as you speak?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Out here working hard.
All right. Appreciate the report. Thanks, and we'll be in touch with you later. Have a good day. Be safe.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
They're on the scene doing investigating right now. 18 minutes after 7. We'll get to 911 call in just a moment. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Now we're checking over to 911 Communication Center. Let's see who we have today. And here's Emily with that report. Emily, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and 911 Communications has processed 434 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of EMS and Rescue had 52 for emergency medical service and 35 for rescue. Law enforcement, there was 156 for the Sheriff's Office, 74 for Forest City, 27 for Rutherfordton, 4 for Lake Lure, and 60 for Spindale. Fire calls, Cliffside responded to an electrical fire and was assisted by Forest City, STO, and Sandy Mush. Forest City responded to a motor vehicle collision and an electrical fire. Lake Lure had a miscellaneous fire and was assisted by Fairfield. Rutherfordton had a vehicle fire, and SDO had an industrial fire alarm, and that's all I have.
Thanks so much, Emily. You have a great day now.
You too.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track, no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Rui Taylor, good morning. Tell us what's been happening over in Danieltown.
Good morning to you. The fire department had one call, and that was to an industrial fire alarm. And on my birthday calendar, I got Shelby Doggett and Gail Walker having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the feet today and going to the head tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Ruby. Enjoy your Tuesday.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Fairfield Mountains Fire District, Gary Wilson is on the phone. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing good. Is it foggy up there?
It was. I was trying to break through right now, but there's some thick fog out there this morning, late last night. Had those little showers come through yesterday. We get that much rain here. We got about 1/10 of an inch, but I know back up on the mountain in places toward Lake Lure, they got a lot more than that. Just depending on where you was at, but there's a couple of pretty good strong thunderstorms come through, and so humid. I figured we was gonna have some fog. Boy, we do.
Yeah, we did.
And it last night and this morning too, but it's trying to break off, so hopefully it'll clear out here after a while. Sitting on about 71 degrees right now. We had one fire call last 24 hours for a search. That's people got up on the Weed Patch Mountain Trail, hiking trail, and got turned around and couldn't find their way out, didn't know which way to go, so they done the smart thing. They found the trail marker and called 911, and we took a couple of ATVs up in there for Department of Lake Lure and retrieved them, and they were fine. They just long day, worn out and tired, and glad to get out of there.
Yeah, I bet.
But
it's easy to get turned around up there, isn't it?
It is. Those trails are marked good, but if you get off the trail going one direction and try to find your way back, then you get back to it, you can't figure out where you need to go, left or right. So it's kind of what they were, but they've done the smart thing. They stopped and called for help and got them out, and they were good. Man, his wife and a little dog with them, and I think the dog was happier to get out than they were. They've been in there about all day hiking, so it's pretty in there, but you got to be careful. You can get turned around in there. But luckily nobody was hurt or anything.
Good.
And that's about all we got up here this morning. We do have one announcement that's coming Saturday, starting at about 11 o'clock over at Bowling Bible Camp. They're going to be having their fish fries are going to start back up again. Be $13 a plate for that, and all the trimmings and dessert and drink. And if you don't like fish, they'll give you a couple of hot dogs instead. So there's some good food. Everybody turned out and enjoy themselves that day, hopefully. And that's going to do it up here.
All right, Gary, thank you very much, and you have a great day, and be safe up there, and I'll see you next time.
Talk to you then.
All right, bye.
Enjoying music, hanging out with friends, church picnics, fishing, and playing in the creeks and streams of our beautiful mountains. This is summer in Western North Carolina. Getting vaccinated brings us one step closer to enjoying all of that and more. In fact, it's our best shot at getting back to normal. Let's give it a shot, WNC, and bring back summer together. Get vaccinated today. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find your best shot. That's myspot.nc.gov.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Well, the Hudlow Fire District in Rutherford County is our next stop, and Bob Hodge is on the scene to give us all the news. Bob, how you doing?
We're doing just fine on this foggy Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it's hard to see you out there so foggy this morning.
That's right. I can't hardly see over that way this morning. But we had some good rain there yesterday evening there. We had some thunder showers move through, and it poured the rain there for a while there. So
sure did.
That cooled the temperatures off too good. So, but looked like we might get another round this afternoon again. So
then it'll all be over for a while. It looks like the weekend and the first next week's going to be sunny.
Yeah, after this round of storms look like it is, and going to be hot with it too.
Oh,
so.
Boy, don't you know it.
Up close to 100 degrees, so that's with the heat index. So that you just have to hunt some shade or stay in the air conditioner or something there.
Oh, boy, a lot of ice water handy.
That's right. Make some good lemonade.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Jim, it's been pretty quiet overnight with the fire department. We've answered one medical call overnight with the fire department. That's a bad hit. Everything's going along just fine up here this morning, and you take care and have a good day over there.
Bob, thank you very much. I hope you will too, and I will look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 27 past the hour 7. Right now, our thermometer reading is 70 degrees. Still foggy here in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Well, the Braves split off a couple of games yesterday. The first game of a doubleheader, the Braves beat the Mets 2-0. The Mets came back at the second game and beat the Braves 1-0. Now they will be going up against the Mets again. This afternoon is an afternoon or an evening game, 7:10 first pitch, and we'll join that pregame following News 13 at 6 tonight. All right, let's go to the drop-in family mart there in Bostic. Audrey's on the phone to give us a report today from what's cooking over there. Audrey, how you doing?
I'm good, Jim. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Is it foggy over at Bostic?
Lord, it is. A little bit cooler this morning, too, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of rain up your way?
We got a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was nice, though. We kind of needed the rain. I don't know about the lightning, but we need much-needed rain.
We may get some more today, Audrey, so look out for it.
Yeah, we sure will. Well, the girls are back here cooking this morning, Jim. They've got a good gravy biscuit going and a good ham biscuit, liver mush, egg, and cheese, and a good breakfast pizza. And I'd just like to mention the girls doing meals during the week, too, and so everybody keep that in mind. Come through at lunchtime and pick up a meal. And I'm a little bit confused this morning on what they do. I know they do a fish on Fridays, and I think the ribs on Thursdays. So, they do a good meal and a good lunch plate if anybody would like to come by and snag one of those up. And I know we'll have fresh produce come in tomorrow up front, so we'd like to everybody to come by and see us.
Always busy over there. Always have good food. I love to tell people to go by the Drop-In Family Mart there in Boston. Food's always good. All right. Anything else going on?
Well, we got propane out front now. I know it had been down for a little while, us trying to refill the tanks for people.
Yeah.
But we've got that thing fixed, and it's back up and going for all the campers in the area and people camping. So come by, and we'll be glad to fill up your propane tank for you.
All right. Audrey, thank you very much for your report today, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, Jim. You have a good day also.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the Drop-In Family Mart there in Boston. Across from the post office, you cannot go wrong by shopping in there for breakfast, lunch, or just buying groceries.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now we're stopping by the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, we got a little hungry, so we thought we'd drop in there and get breakfast before we come to you this morning. Is that okay?
All right.
You doing okay today?
I'm doing okay. Hope you are.
Well, are you improving a little bit along the way?
Yeah.
Good.
Doing okay. Just took a while. But anyway, I feel a lot better now. And let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I have no birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar today or my personal calendar. I got a birthday for DeMeyer, Forstinger, and of course DeMeyer's on Fairview's calendar also. And nothing on First Frauds for today, so not too many celebrating, but we're hoping that it's having a birthday or anniversary. Has a real good day on their special day. And looks like it's kind of a little bit foggy out there. But we had a thunderstorm yesterday. And a good bit of rain, too.
Yes.
It was poured for a while. And maybe they have another one today. I don't know. Is it supposed to come another thunderstorm today?
It is. It's in the forecast maybe this afternoon, about like yesterday, probably about the same time and about the same amount of rain, thunder, lightning, and it'll go away for a while.
Well, we just take what comes and enjoy it, I reckon.
Yeah, we'll just be patient and wait for it to go away and look for the sun.
At least our power stayed on. That was a good thing.
Yeah, that was always a concern.
Well, I hope you have a good day today, Jim.
You too, Sue. Thanks, and you keep improving. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Cherry Mountain reporter Sue Price. You know, we added a new program here on WCAB on Saturdays and now Sundays as we bring you the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Dr. Bob Martin is the largest syndicated health show on the radio today. The program includes breaking health news and special features such as the health alternative and outrage. Listeners will learn about nutrition, diet, exercise, vitamins, herbal supplements, healthy lifestyle, and other healing techniques. Healing info that will encourage the motivation, confidence, and conviction that you need to heal your own body of any ailment. So it'd be interesting to listen to that. From headaches to hemorrhoids, aches to shakes, pimples to prostate, bad back to bad BO, and everything in between. Join us for Dr. Bob Martin Saturdays and at 9:05, and then on Sundays at 5 a.m. Those of you who get up early, that'll be something to listen to. Now we're heading up toward Shingle Hollow, and that's where we find Sue. No, we found Sue already. We're looking for Brenda. No, we don't get Brenda yet. We're talking with Tina White. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning, Jim.
You feeling good today?
I wouldn't mind being called Sue or Brenda.
Well, that's mighty nice of you.
Oh, I am doing mighty fine today, this wonderful foggy Tuesday morning. Can't hardly see the neighbor's house this morning.
I know, it's really foggy.
But the rain was a delight. Even the thunder. I liked the thunder and lightning yesterday.
Well, I don't much care for that. When you got a 250-foot tower standing in the field up on the mountainside over there, it's hard to know when it's going to hit that tower.
I understand. Well, yeah.
So we walk on eggshells when the thunder and lightning comes up.
Mm-hmm. Well, this morning in Shingle Hollow, the fire department helped. They had a tree down, and Green Hill Fire Department helped Rutherfordton with an electrical fire yesterday. Birthdays, there are none on either calendar for today. Piney Knob is having Bible school last night. They had 81. Everybody had a good time with that. There won't never, but still time to bring your children out, grandchildren, and you can come too for Bible school destination dig. Starts at 5:30 with supper, and then 6 o'clock as assembly, and that goes on till Friday. Then Monday, August 1st through Wednesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. There will be revival at Piney Knob with Brother Alan Laws bringing the message. And I said mark your calendar a little bit ahead for Sunday, August 22nd at 6 p.m. The John Lancaster family will be singing during the p.m. service. And Pilgrim Way Baptist Church, which is 485 Hamilton Road in Rutherfordton, is inviting everyone for Sunday, August 1st through Wednesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. They're having Vacation Bible School and Revival at the same time. Evangelist Mike Bagwell of Tunnel Hill, Georgia, is bringing the message, and Bible School is for birth to 8th grade, and there will be special singing every night. There's still lots going on in Shingle Hollow.
All righty. Sounds like you've covered it all.
Yep. And also looking forward to the fish fry for I think it's called the Bible Camp up on Freemantown Road.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. They have some good food up there too. I think that's this Saturday, if that's what
I believe that's what he said.
Mr. Wilson was saying. So if you don't have plans for Saturday, do that, because I'm telling you, you will not regret it.
Supporting a good cause, too.
It is, yes.
All right, Tina.
Well, have a wonderful Tuesday, Jim, and I will talk with you tomorrow, and be safe, and I hope during the storms, lightning does not come close to the tower.
Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow. Our next stop will be Union Mills.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
All right, here we are, front and center at Union Mills. Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you on this terrific, foggy Tuesday morning?
It is all of the above. I'm happy as a lark. How about you?
I'm fine. Hey, I'm vertical. I'm above ground, and everything's looking good.
Did you get a lot of that storm yesterday?
We got some, but not a whole lot. I had to go pick my car up. It's been in the shop ever since Thursday evening late. Alternator went out on it, and so I had to get it fixed. And they ordered the part, and they said it would be there Friday, but they didn't have nobody to drive the truck to deliver the parts, so didn't get it till yesterday.
They probably needed some help.
Yeah, there's a lot of people needing help. And just before the 7 o'clock hour, you played a song. I believe it was "Meet Me at Jesus' Feet" or something like that.
Yes.
Was that Michael Henderson singing that?
It was, yes.
I thought that was pretty.
Yeah. He did a good job of that song.
He does. I'm telling you, I thought, that's Michael Henderson. I'm going to ask him. He'll know.
It was, yes.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed all the music, but I especially enjoyed that.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's see. I've got 66 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, the Union Mills Community Club today at 12 noon is going to have a lunch, bring a covered dish, and bring a neighbor, and enjoy food and fellowship. And then on Saturday, July the 31st, Vacation Bible School starts at 9 a.m. and goes to 2. This will be at Far City Church of the Nazarene. Then we've got Saturday, July the 31st, 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., Corinth Baptist Church Vacation Bible School, ages 3 through to 6th grade. That's at 767 Pinehurst Road, Ellenboro. And then the Neighbor's Pantry needs help. This is at the Old Gilkey School to help pass out the food boxes. And if you'll call Harry at 429-9075, he'll tell you all about it and give you more information. And then on Saturday, July the 31st, there's going to be a memorial service for Johnny Bolton. He used to live in Ralston, but due to his health and the fact that his wife died, he moved to Virginia with his son, which was Manassas, Virginia. But they're going to have his memorial service at the First Baptist Church on Main Street in Ralston at 11 a.m., Saturday the 31st. And then on August the 6th, Carly, I won't call her Callie. I got a Callie in my family. I've got a Carly, and it's hard to keep these names apart. But on August the 6th, Carly Irewood Band, 7 p.m. at the Union Mills Learning Center. Saturday, August the 7th, ASI Alumni Reunion starts at 10 a.m., annual meeting at 3 p.m. And Sunday, August the 8th, ASI luncheon available for the cost, and I don't know what the cost is because they didn't give me that information. Reverend John Cope will lead service, and all alumni events will be held at the Union Mills Learning Center. And so far, that's all I've got.
All right, Brenda, I appreciate you covering all of that for us, and you stay happy up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, catch you later.
All right,
have
bye.
a good day.
That's the calendar report out of Union Mills this morning. We now have 7:42 on our clock and 70 degrees on the thermometer. We're going over to Ellenboro next.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Let's head on over to Ellenboro now. That's where we'll find Luther Gilligan up and at 'em already today. Luther, what's happening in Ellenboro today?
Just wandering around in the fog.
You get run over if you're not careful.
And well, stay lost in it. But it's clearing off, so sun's going to shine here directly, get through the clouds, it's going to clear it off. We're going to have a good time today. But it's quiet this morning, not a whole lot happening. Everybody just trying to get back into work for another day. The fire department may want to call. I had a medical call yesterday afternoon. Other than that, they're quiet. Nothing going on with them. It's just quiet everywhere down here this morning. So you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
You have a great day, Luther. Be careful over there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's circling the county this morning. Find some news. Some busy departments, some not so busy today. And we're happy when they're not busy. It's time now for birthdays and anniversaries for this 27th day of July. July the 27th, 2021. If you were born on this date, please call us and let us celebrate with you. Or if you're married on this date, let us celebrate with you. Now's the time to call in. We've cleared the phone lines, 287-3356. Birthdays and anniversaries coming up.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
Well, I've been over to Granny B's, and having lunch, and I've seen people come in and they pre-ordered and they take lunch back out to their fellow workers, with several big subs, and you always get a good sub there. You get your choice of what you want on it, many different varieties, and it's a great lunch. But have you tried the Granny B's Pizza Combo? Granny B's Pizza Combo is very good. You could choose from 13 different combinations. So what's your preference? Today, they're back open today through Saturday from 9 a.m. until about 8 o'clock. Here's the number. 286-9012. Put that in your phone so you'll have it ready to call. Granny B's Pizza Combo, or their delicious subs. And always leave room for a Granny B's delicious Daylight Donut. Right there, Main Street, Spindale.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to Daryl McIntyre. He works for us. He works at Rutherford. He lives in Forest. He works at Rutherford Life Services. Daryl McIntyre. Gloria Lynch is 57 over in Forest City. Brian and Kim Lauder having an anniversary today. And Ansel Love celebrating a birthday also today. I wish all these folks a happy, happy birthday. And John Higgins having a birthday today, too. Smith's Drugstore there in Forest City. Wish John a happy, happy birthday today. Now stand by. We have Keys to Confident Living, and we'll take you down memory lane for some classic oldies. Andrew Tisdale in at the top of the hour.
Have you ever found yourself having unbelievable faith for some great miracle, while at other times you had trouble believing even for the simplest of things? In May of 1995, Randy Reed, a 34-year-old construction worker, was welding on top of a nearly completed water tower outside Chicago. Reed unhooked his safety gear to reach for some pipes when a metal cage slipped and bumped the scaffolding he stood on. The scaffolding tipped, and Reed lost his balance. He fell 110 feet, landing face down on a pile of dirt, just missing rocks and construction debris. When paramedics arrived, they found Reed conscious, moving, and only complaining of a sore back. As he was being carried on a backboard to the ambulance, he said to the paramedics, "Please don't drop me." Sometimes we resemble that construction worker. God protects us from harm in a 110-foot fall, but we're still nervous about 3-foot heights. There is a story told by Jesus of a man who was encouraged to believe for a special healing. The man had some faith, but he also had some doubts. He said to Jesus, "I believe, but I need help with my unbelief." Boy, I sure have identified with that man over the years. Sometimes my faith seems to be able to soar for the biggest projects, while at other times the smallest need can throw me into a tailspin of doubt. We need to be reminded that if God has helped us once, He is capable of doing it again. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM. When the
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. The most decorated gymnast in history is out of the Olympic Games as far as the team competition is concerned in Tokyo. Simone Biles not competing in team events, just announced in Tokyo. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
It's the event that captivates the United States because it's dominated by one woman, Simone Biles. But during the team finals vault rotation, the 24-year-old came down awkwardly, scoring a last place 13.766. A short time later, she put on her white sweatsuit and hugged her teammates. Now, without explanation, Tokyo 2020 has announced that Simone Biles has withdrawn from the women's gymnastics team final.
She is arguably the most well-known athlete at the Games, and as of right now, they have not given a reason why Simone Biles is pulled out of the team competition. The number of COVID cases on the rise in Tokyo, the city reporting its highest number of daily infections since the Olympic Games began. A House Select Committee is getting ready to hold its first hearing on the January 6th Capitol riot. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has appointed Republicans Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger to the committee, a move protested by House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. A plea deal is expected today in the Atlanta area spa shootings that left 8 people dead. This week, ABC News is exploring gun violence in America. Today's installment is about kids.
This is a drill. A generation of K-12 students growing up in the wake of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting nearly 9 years ago, preparing for the possibility of a shooting at their school, even if they don't know it.
We pretended there was a bear.
That's 6-year-old Liam telling Mom, Tara, an ABC News producer about his recent drill.
We had to go down and hide under our desk.
A layer of innocence lost for students no matter their age. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
The Veterans Administration now requiring all frontline workers to be vaccinated against COVID. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm Dinesh D'Souza. In April alone, consumer prices increased by 4.2%, the highest bump since 2008. Higher fuel prices, higher food prices, construction costs, housing prices. Inflation isn't just coming, it's here. Have you protected your savings, your investments? If you have not yet diversified a portion into precious metals, the answer is no. Birch Gold Group is who I purchased from and who you can trust to convert an IRA or eligible 401k into an IRA backed by gold and silver. That's right. Through a little-known tax loophole, you can convert your retirement savings tied to the stock market into an IRA backed by precious metals. It's your hedge against inflation. With 10,000 customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, and countless 5-star reviews, Birch Gold can help you too. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 before it's too late.
President Biden announcing that by the end of the year, U.S. combat operations will end in Iraq. But ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz says
there was a lot of fanfare about this announcement, the president making it sound like many U.S. forces would be coming home. But in reality, the number of troops is not expected to be significantly reduced. One U.S. official telling me that by the end of the year, we will likely still have 2,500 troops in Iraq.
In Afghanistan, though, the troop withdrawal continues and is expected to be completed within a matter of weeks. The search continues for an Arizona teenager swept away by floodwaters north of Phoenix over the weekend. Verde Valley Fire Chief Danny Johnson.
So it's like walking miles of football fields that's full of debris, it's full of rocks, it's full of old limbs, and all of those areas are places where we need to be looking.
The teenager, Faith Moore, was trapped in her car and pulled away as rescuers tried to get to her. A former senator robbed in California.
Former Senator Barbara Boxer's office tweeted out that she was assaulted in Oakland's Jack London Square neighborhood, that she was pushed in her back, her cell phone stolen, and the suspect jumped into a waiting car, but she was not seriously injured. Oakland police say the suspect got away in a waiting vehicle and the case is being investigated. Alex Stone, ABC News.
And Britney Spears filing a new motion to remove her father from the conservatorship that has run her life for 13 years now. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly.
Ready for your next road trip? Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need to stay safe while traveling. Visibility on the road is so important and so easy to achieve. Get your windshield streak-free and crystal clear with Blue Magic Glass Cleaner. On sale now, 2 for $5. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Highs are going to reach the upper 80s and lower 90s today, but feels like temperatures will jump into the upper 90s and triple digits for areas to the south. It's going to feel very muggy out there. We have another chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. This time, they're mainly going to set up for areas to the south and drift towards the south throughout the overnight hours. We're going to fall into the low to mid 70s with highs in the lower 90s and feels like temperatures in triple digits tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
70 degrees right now. We've been stuck on 70 since this morning. We are going to be increasing, though, after a while. The fog's lifting a little bit. It's 89 for expected high with the heat index up to around 95 today, with the possibility of another afternoon thunder bumper rolling in with some rain possibility. After we get through today and tonight, from this point on, Wednesday all the way through next Tuesday, it's nothing but sun and a few clouds and hot temperatures. So be prepared for the hot temperatures, but we're going to get past the rain. I think today they may bring it back in because of the high humidity, but right now that's all's in the forecast. And 70 degrees. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock, and it's Tuesday morning, and it's Andrew Tisdale Day here in the Blue Room, and we'll talk with him right after this.
You say hello every time you pick up your phone, but what else do you say hello to? With Bark Mobile, you can say hello to summer, to adventure, to doing what you love, because you're also saying hello to freedom, flexibility, and great deals. Like getting a free Moto G stylus when you switch for a limited time, $100 savings when you bring the device you already love, or 2 lines unlimited data for just $35 a month per line with AutoPay. Say hello to something new. It's just a phone call away with Bark Mobile. Bark Mobile, mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details. Visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
All right, let's check in now with Andrew Tisdale. He is the financial advisor with Edward Jones in Rutherfordton, making sense of investing. He's located at 173 Railroad Avenue. This morning, he's located right here in the Blue Room. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Good.
How about you?
I'm wonderful as well.
I knew that.
Wonderful number 2.
Wonderful number 2. So you're on the second stage of
I'm
wonderful.
trying to be like you when I grow up.
Well, you're already on the second stage. That's a little better.
You had a good weekend, I guess.
It was. It was a good weekend. Let's see. I can't remember what we did.
Must have been good then.
Must have been good.
Yeah.
There was no traveling. There was no
you got to stay home this
sports.
weekend?
We did. So we did a lot of work around the house. Can't beat that. That's pretty good.
That's good. It's time you settle down.
Well, I'm trying to. I'm trying to. I'm trying
What
to.
you got on your mind today?
Let's think about IRAs. What is an IRA? An IRA is an individual retirement account. A lot of us have 401ks, 403bs, company-sponsored plans for retirement, but there's also IRAs. What's the difference between the two? One is a company plan and one is your plan. IRA, the key word is I, individual retirement account. There's 2 separate ones. There's a traditional and then there's a Roth. Which one should I choose? There's no correct answer for everyone, but the more you know about the two, the more confident you'll be when choosing one. So both IRAs have a limit that you can put in a year. If you're under 50, you can put in $6,000. If you're over 50, you can put in $7,000. But here's how the two IRAs differ greatly. In a traditional IRA, if I contribute my money into it, I'm going to get a tax break today. If I make $50,000 a year, I put in $5,000 in a traditional IRA, I'm only going to be taxed on $45,000. That money's going to grow tax-free until you need to take it out for retirement. But then you're going to pay taxes on the earnings plus what you put in. Because Uncle Sam's going to remind you, remember I gave you a tax break years ago. It's time to pay up. What about a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is one where you're actually going to pay the taxes now. You put it in there. If I make $50,000 and I put $5,000 in a Roth IRA, I'm still taxed on $50,000. As it grows, it is tax-free. When you're ready to take it out, you don't owe them any more taxes. That sounds really good, and a lot of people this really works for. But what about your tax bracket now? And you got to look at, is my tax bracket now worth that, or do I need tax help now? Because maybe later in the future I'm not going to be in a really big tax bracket. Or what if I'm really young and I'm getting started in this Roth IRA and I contribute everything I can into it, and I've got the time and everything I've got is tax free? That's a really good deal. So how do you choose which one is best for you? My advice, find somebody you trust. Find somebody who is in your corner, looking out for your best interest. Sit and talk with them, and they'll help you pick it out. It may be beneficial to do both. I will say that's what I do, because I need some tax breaks here and there, but I also don't want to owe Uncle Sam when I decide to retire.
Would you recommend Andrew Tisdale with Edward Jones for financial advice?
You know, I've heard a lot of good about him, and I've talked to him. He's pretty decent. But, you know, you might want to ask around for other people, see what their opinion is.
I would recommend him.
I appreciate that. I'll let him know.
Andrew Tisdale, financial advisor with Edward Jones, 173 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford is where he hangs his hat. You don't wear a hat, though, do you?
Most of the time, if I'm not working, I have a hat on.
Oh,
yeah, cover my bald head.
173 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. That phone number is 287-9197, and you can reach him at andrew.tisdale@edwardjones.com.
Great
Thanks
job.
for being here.
I know you're wonderful. See, I knew it.
I'll try, man. I want to meet your standards.
Have a great day.
I'll see you. And we'll see him again next Tuesday right here in the Blue Room. We got My Great America with Jim and Butch at 9:05 this morning. We also have something exciting going on here at WCAB. We're not just a jukebox. We entertain as well as inspire, we hope, and get you informed also. Stay tuned on 100.9. Thank you for making it your radio station of choice for the foothills. Now I got some news from here and there right after this.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
Those of you watching online can see I've got a stack of stuff here, but I'm never going to be able to get through all of it during this segment. But we'll get started and cover some of it if we possibly can. But don't have no fear. It is not going to be covered, all of it, altogether. We do have a few items from here and there this morning. In terms of the slate of candidates that have now set themselves up for the 2021 Rutherford County municipal elections, the filing period officially ended July 16th, but was extended for a week because there were not enough candidates for Chimney Rock Village. This has since changed. Incumbent Councilwoman April Schick, who is also Mayor Pro Tem, filed for re-election Thursday, July 22nd. Before then, only one other person had filed for the two available seats, incumbent Bruce Godzik. After receiving guidance from state officials' election, Rutherford County Elections Director Don Lovelace said an emergency meeting was held by the Rutherford County Board of Elections. The board decided to extend the filing period for a week, only for Chimney Rock Village. Barring a successful write-in campaign, Schick and Godzik will retain their seats on the Chimney Rock Village. No race there. They'll have it hands down. Other incumbent candidates who will be on the ballot are also running unopposed, including the mayors of Rutherfordton, Spindale, Forest City, Lake Lure, and Bostic. Write-in candidates are still possible in any of these races, Lovelace said. Write-in candidates have occasionally been successful here, mostly recently in Ruth and Spindale. Voter turnout for municipal elections is typically not the highest. It is a non-presidential, non-midterm election year with no statewide offices on the ballot. Only registered voters who live within a municipality are allowed to vote. Because the municipal elections are all nonpartisan, there are no primaries. The last day to register to vote is October the 8th. Election day is Tuesday, November the 2nd, with polls opening at 6:30 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Candidates who officially filed for the municipal elections and will appear on the ballot are in Bostic, incumbent Mayor Mitch Harrell, incumbent Councilman Michael Hollifield, Billy Lattimore, and Wes Flynn. Ellenboro incumbent Alderman Lee Allen, Liz Blandon, and Pam Paget are each seeking to retain their seats, while newcomer Alan Bunt Black is also seeking a seat. Incumbent Alderman Charles Smith is running unopposed for the unexpired two-year term. Forest City Mayor Steve Holland is running unopposed, and incumbent Sean Moore is seeking to retain his seat, one of two available, while newcomers Dr. John Mark Bennett, Tasha Lawrence, and Keisha McDowell are also seeking a seat on the board. Incumbent David Aker did not file for re-election. Over in Lake Lure, Mayor Carol Pritchett is running unopposed. Jim Proctor and Scott Duster are running for a seat on the board. Incumbent Commissioners John Kilby and John Moore did not file for re-election. Over in Ruth, Mayor David Guy is challenged for his position by Richard Francis, and Denver Buchanan, Commissioner William Stepp is seeking re-election. Nick Good is also running for commissioner. Incumbent Ron Carpenter did not file for re-election. In Rutherford, Mayor Jimmy Dancy is running unopposed. Councilman Stan Clements is seeking re-election. Doris Scroot is also seeking a seat on the council, and Councilman Terry Cobb did not file again. Spindale, Mayor Mickey Bland is running unopposed. Commissioners Rosaline Francis is running unopposed, as is newcomer Ricky Ledbetter. Commissioner Tom Robertson did not file for re-election. In the unexpired commissioner's term, incumbent Lou Gillum is running against Jennifer Cowan Spratt. So that's an update on the municipal elections, and you'll be seeing some of those signs out and about. Not a big campaign organized, so there will probably not be any political debates for the municipal elections, and only those folks inside the confines of the municipalities will be able to vote. Wish we all could, but we can't. Well, Carolina Journal is reporting that conservatives say vaccinations are a matter of personal choice. The voices of those urging government officials to rely on individual liberty and personality responsibility as the founding principles relate to getting the COVID vaccines are getting louder. While conservative politicians in North Carolina and throughout the U.S. are urging people to get the shot, which has proven safe, they stop well short of supporting government edicts and things such as vaccine passports and mask mandates, conversely rallying against the progressive ideas. Leaders in the General Assembly, including Senate Leader Phil Berger and House Speaker Tim Moore, both Republicans, are promoting the vaccine through public service announcements. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, a Republican, for instance, recently addressed the spike in cases in his state, stressing the importance of the vaccine. The idea of schools requiring a vaccine, as some colleges and universities have done, is somewhat problematic, according to the News and Observer. Governor Roy Cooper, in a news conference Wednesday, said existing state mask mandates will end at July 30th, but he's recommending masks for public school students in kindergarten through middle school. He's not saying that's mandatory, he's recommending that, and the existing mask mandate will end on Thursday or Friday of this week. Senator Berger, according to the News and Observer, said, I've said all along that I felt like vaccination is a decision that I personally made as the right decision for me. I think the more people that are vaccinated, the better, but that's a decision people need to make in consultation with their health care provider. It's not something that should be mandatory for anyone. Yet the breach in North Carolina continues to widen between the smaller, more rural counties and larger urban areas, between those that typically vote Republican and those that usually vote Democratic, even as reported COVID cases rise almost exclusively among the unvaccinated. Over in Stokes County in western North Carolina at the Virginia border, 35% of the population is fully vaccinated, according to the health department. In nearby Rockingham County, 41% are fully vaccinated. In Rutherford County, near the here we are, it's just 30%. Compare that with Wake County, home to Raleigh, where 57% are fully vaccinated, or Buncombe, 52%. Statewide, about 57% of adults are fully vaccinated, with 60% getting at least one dose. That's still short of Cooper's original goals, which was two-thirds of the population. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, a Republican, while encouraging people to get vaccinated, was succinct when asked about why so many are reluctant to get the jab. I don't know, you tell me, she said. Folks are supposed to have common sense, but it's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks. It's the unvaccinated folks that are letting us down, she said. Well, I don't know that I agree with that, but that's what she said anyway. Some might say it's for politics, such as when now Vice President Kamala Harris said in a debate last year that she wouldn't accept a vaccine if President Donald Trump said to take it. Now, she must not think it's very serious if she wouldn't take it because Donald Trump said to take it. But there's politics behind wanting to depict the vaccine hesitant as making a political choice. It's better to assume people are individually making choices based on their own perceptions of risk to themselves and their health, the way we do people who choose not to get an annual flu shot. If you think they're making the wrong choice, you're more likely to persuade them from a position of respecting them rather than insulting them. But it is a choice you must make. And the government should not be allowed to force that issue on anybody. 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, we have the Sheriff's Report with Sergeant Straup coming up here in just a moment.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket. There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Sergeant Straup gave us a report from the Sheriff's Department this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Sergeant?
All ready to go for you. The past 24 hours, we've answered 156 calls for service, made 13 arrests, and have 194 inmates in the jail. Arrested, we have Joshua Airwood of Ellenborough arrested and charged with communicating threats. He issued a $1,000 secured bond. Also have Jimmy Scott Walker of Mooresboro arrested, charged with possessing methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. He was issued a $10,000 secured bond. Got Bryson Coedney of Balsick arrested, charged with communicating threats, issued a $3,000 secured bond. And Christopher Starkland of Ellenborough arrested, charged with resisting arrest, failure to heed the blue light and siren, and a fictitious tag. He was issued a $1,250 secured bond. Forensic reports, Lisa Kicklighter of Ellenborough reported credit card fraud, and looks like she was defrauded out of $1,095.35 from a bank account. Joseph Pye of Blacksburg reported a larceny of motor vehicle, a 2004 Audi valued at $3,000. And Patricia Wooten of Rutherford reported a larceny of motor vehicle. It was a 2000 Nissan valued at $500, and that one was actually recovered with assistance from State Highway Patrol. And that's all I got for you this morning.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. There's a surprise winner in the women's 100-meter breaststroke at the games in Tokyo. Correspondent Denny Kapp reports.
Lydia Jacoby steals the spotlight on Tuesday morning in Tokyo. The 17-year-old from Seward, Alaska takes home the gold in the 100-meter breaststroke. Defending champion Lily King added a bronze for Team USA.
Now to the Olympic Games scheduled for today. Here's Steve Futterman.
The big story today will be the U.S. women's gymnastics team taking part in the team competition. This is an event the U.S. has won at the last two Olympics. Of course, 5 years ago in Rio, the team was led by Simone Biles. She is back again, although with a different supporting cast. During the qualifying round, the U.S. women had some mistakes here and there and finished just behind the Russian gymnasts, but those scores do not count when the team competition begins today. Steve Futterman, CBS News, at the Summer Olympics in Tokyo.
The Braves remain 5 games behind the Mets in the National League East. Here's Dave Ferry.
The Mets and Braves split a doubleheader at Citi Field, with Atlanta winning the opener 2-0 before New York came away with a 1-0 victory. Jeff McNeil supplied a game-winning hit for the second straight day, lacing an RBI double in the 5th inning of the nightcap.
Just looking for good pitch to get a hit on. I know he really likes the slider curveball, but wasn't really sitting on it. Just kind of saw it up and hit it about as far as I could.
6 relievers combined on a 4-hitter with 10 strikeouts in the 7-inning second game. Kyle Muller combined with 2 relievers on a 5-hitter in the Game 1 shutout. He also helped Atlanta score the first run with a single off losing pitcher Marcus Stroman in the 3rd inning for his first major league hit. Jock Peterson followed with an RBI double. I'm Dave Ferry.
Red Sox beating the Blue Jays 5-4. White Sox lost to the surging Royals 4-3. You're listening to NCN Sports.
NASCAR legend Richard Petty on why he got his shot.
Talked to my doctor, and he said he would highly recommend that I go ahead and get a shot. You're not only helping yourself, you're helping your neighbors also. I might have been a little bit hesitant to begin with, but after looking at all the statistics, and I don't see anything after you take the shot, everybody seems to get along with it pretty good. So you have a spot, take your shot.
Everyone from teens to seniors can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Find your appointment today. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
As North Carolina continues to reopen, retailers are more excited than ever for the summer shopping season, and they look forward to seeing you in their stores. While there are no longer any mask or social distancing requirements, each retailer will make their own decision about how to maintain the safety of their customers and employees. So please continue to be kind to the retail employees who have been on the front lines for the last 14 months, and remember to shop NC. The NC Retail Merchants Association proudly represents North Carolina's dedicated retailers and encourages you to shop NC. Learn more at ncrma.org.
Florida State Scotty Barnes headlines the class of forwards in this year's upcoming NBA draft. Those forwards also include first-round prospects like Duke's Jalen Johnson. Meanwhile, as you scout for the draft, things were different this year. According to Hornets general manager Mitch Kupchak, it was great to have a chance to look at these players in person this year, unlike a year ago.
So this year is different. I mean, we're finally getting up close to a player. You can stand next to the player. You get a great feel for their athleticism, their skill level.
What do you get for winning a medal in the Olympics? Stacey Lynn explains.
Besides getting the coveted hardware and bragging rights, Olympic medalists get paid for their accomplishments, but it's not much. Win a gold, you walk away with $37,500. Silver in your pocket, that's worth $22,500.
Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Highs are going to reach the upper 80s and lower 90s today, but feels like temperatures will jump into the upper 90s and triple digits for areas to the south. It's going to feel very muggy out there. We have another chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. This time, they're mainly going to set up for areas to the south and drift towards the south throughout the overnight hours. We're going to fall into the low to mid 70s with highs in the lower 90s and feels like temperatures in triple digits tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Well, the thermometer is beginning to move a little bit. We have moved 1 point. It was 70 earlier today, stayed that way all through the couple of hours. Now it is moved to 71, and we will have 89 for our expected high, with the heat index around 95 today, with a 60% chance of another thunderstorm this afternoon. When it comes, it'll probably be about the same time it did yesterday, about the same thing. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, a lot of rain. It may not come at all. It may change its mind. It may say, well, we dumped on them yesterday. We won't dump on them today. But then again, it may come anyway. So we'll see and watch that weather pattern. One good thing about living around here, it changes momentarily. So let's watch out. Stay tuned right here. We'll keep you posted on the weather. Coming up 9:05 this morning, My Great America with Jim and Butch. Be right here in the Blue Room. Right now, though, let's look at some other things happening. Let me tell you about the Owls. The Owls are away on Wednesday, the 28th at Spartanburg. They will then travel to McCrary Park for a doubleheader against Asheboro on Thursday, the 29th. On the 30th, the Owls and Outlaws will play in a split squad game where admission is free. All players were drafted to be either an Owl or an Outlaw for this game and will be one of the most fun nights of the season. Before the game, there will be a home run derby and a pitching contest that starts at 5. The game will start at the conclusion of the contest. There will be limited concessions. The last home game of the season is on the 31st, where the Owls play the Hot Toms. Due to the rain cancellation on Saturday night, they will be finishing that game along with the regularly scheduled game as well. More details to come as decisions are made on that. Tickets will be buy one, get one free for this game. There'll be fireworks after the game. Be sure you get your ticket ahead of time. It will be a packed house, we feel sure. The 31st will also be college night at McNair, so come to the game decked out in your college gear. It's not too early to get your season ticket for the 2022 season, and they have a special offer for early purchase. You can put down a $25 deposit per seat by August 31st with final payment by the end of the year and receive the 2021 season ticket pricing. This is a great opportunity to save on tickets and get excited for the 2022 Owl season. Last week, the Owls played away at Martinsville on the 21st and won 6-4. On the 22nd, the Owls lost at home to Blowfish 7-5. On the 23rd, the Owls played a doubleheader in Thomasville and won both games 6-4 and 12-5, respectively. The game was highlighted by 4 Owl home runs and a grand slam by Kendall McGowan. The game is on the 24th. The game on the 24th was suspended at the top of the 5th, where the Owls were down 1-0. So you have an opportunity yet to enjoy the Owls and get out there and win those games. How would you like to have a nickname like Blowfish? I guess that's okay. But we'll see. All right, some other stories from here. There's some good with some not so good. There's a man accused of killing his stepfather, arrested after Spartanburg County standoff down in Spartanburg. A man who deputies said admitted to killing his stepfather was arrested after a standoff Monday in Spartanburg County. According to the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office, deputies were called to Cindy Lane in the Mayo community shortly before 11 o'clock for a report that a man had shot another man. When the Sheriff's Office arrived at the scene, a man later identified as 36-year-old Darren Lee Grissom told them that he had shot his stepfather and that he was dead. When deputies offered to call EMS for the injured man, Grissom refused and asked deputies to leave, the officer said. SWAT and negotiators were called to the scene for the standoff, which lasted around 2 hours before Grissom was taken into custody. Spartanburg County Coroner's Office identified the victim as 62-year-old Joseph Edward Breeze. Grissom was charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. Investigators said they still don't know the motive for the shooting. Grissom is being held in the Spartanburg County Detention Center. There's his picture. Those of you watching online, you can see what he looks like. You see that? Yep, that's him. Mayo, that's down the road a little ways. I lived in Mayo for a period of time when I was a little boy growing up. We didn't have stuff like that taking place, though. All we had going on was a train running by every few hours. All right, schools are singled out a 9-year-old girl. She's been banned because she was wearing a Jesus face mask. A school is facing a lawsuit for singling out one student's Jesus Loves Me face mask during COVID because it created the, quote, policy against religious words only after it already had punished the student for wearing it. That and the fact the practice appears to violate the law. Mississippi mother Jennifer Booth has explained the war she is in with Simpson County School District in a podcast with the Daily Signal. The case, according to the Alliance Defending Freedom, which is representing the mother and her daughter, Lydia Booth, charges the school had abandoned its duty to respect the free expression of students that the First Amendment guarantees to them. ADF Senior Counsel Tyson Langhofer said, quote, no public school student should be singled out for peacefully sharing her religious beliefs with fellow students. Today's students will be tomorrow's legislators, judges, educators, and voters. That's why it's so important that public schools demonstrate the First Amendment values that are supposed to be teaching to students, end quote. Well, in the podcast, Booth explained she was a little surprised when the school notified her that her daughter was banned from wearing a face mask during COVID that said Jesus loves me. For one thing, her daughter already had worn the mask for several months without issue. Then, too, she examined the school's policies, its handbook, and its rules, found no authorization for such a speech ban. In fact, she found just the opposite, and when she challenged the school, officials were unable to find any such rule in the handbook. Booth pointed out the school specifically acknowledged the 2016 Mississippi Student Religious Freedom Act, which is our state-level law that protects students' freedom of speech as far as expressing their religious views in their work or anything, so as long as they're not being disruptive about it. So whoever that teacher was or administrator was, they got caught for inserting their own personal prejudice against someone of faith. So I don't know how far that lawsuit will go, but it's pretty important, folks, that you step up to the plate when you're being discriminated against because of your religious convictions. It's important that you step up to the plate instead of whipping down and running to the corner and said, "Oh well, it's okay, it'll be over, right?" We need to step up to the plate. But that old song, "Step into the water, wade out a little bit deeper, wet your feet in the water of His love." Move on. Anyway, let's move on. Despite efforts to defund the police, I thought this was interesting. Despite efforts to defund the police, there's some Democrat-led cities spent millions on private security for mayors. These names are not going to surprise you, I feel sure. Bill de Blasio, Lori Lightfoot, London Breed are among the beneficiaries of the taxpayer-funded security details, and they're instigators in wanting to defund the police. As crime surges across the nation, Democratic mayors in approximately 20 U.S. cities that have called for defunding the police have received millions in taxpayer funds towards their own personal security details. New data compiled by Forbes auditor Open the Books through Freedom of Information Act request reveals that the city of Chicago, just as an example, spent $17.3 million between 2015 and 2020 to guard unnamed city officials. Despite Mayor Lori Lightfoot's claim that she is opposed to cutting funding for the police, records show that the city quietly cut 400 police officer positions in 2020. 400. While the cost of her security detail hit an all-time high of $3.4 million for 22 officers just for her own personal security detail. But we don't worry about you folks out there. You don't need that police protection because they're mean people, but we're going to hire them to protect me and my staff, and you don't worry about it. We don't need them out there on the streets. Chicago reportedly spent $2.8 million for 17 officers in 2019, $2.8 million for 16 officers in 2018, $2.7 million for 20 police officers in 2017, and $2.9 million for 16 officers in 2016. In San Francisco, for instance, $12.4 million was reportedly spent between 2015 and 2020 to protect Mayor London Breed, as the city said it would divest $120 million from its police budget over 2 years to put toward health programs. Take it away from the police officers when all that violence is on the street and turn them over to health programs, which they will do who knows what. But I'm going to hire them to protect me because I'm the mayor. Security detail spending for Breed amounted to $1.7 million in 2015. Got up to $2.6 million in 2020. Well, let's go up the road a little ways to the unpopular Mayor de Blasio in New York. The City Council approved slashing $1 billion from its $6 billion police budget, with $354 million to be reallocated to mental health, homelessness, and education services. Now, they do need help. Homelessness shelters need help. Education services need help. Mental health need help. But we need police officers on the street because the judges and the lawyers or whoever is responsible are not punishing these folks for shooting people and stabbing people and robbing people on the streets in broad daylight in Times Square and places like that, in places like New York, Chicago, and San Francisco and Atlanta. They'll just slap them on the wrist, charge them a little bit, send them back out on the street and do it again. New York City Council approved slashing $1 billion from its $6 billion police budget. However, spending on Mayor Bill de Blasio's security detail reportedly cost taxpayers $358,000 during his failed presidential bid. Over in Baltimore, approximately $3.6 million was spent in 2020 for police to cover Mayor Brendan Scott, State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, and Police Commissioner Michael Harrison, despite about $22 million being eliminated from the city's police budget. The Mayor's Protection Unit reportedly cost the city nearly $2 million last fiscal year, while protection for the state's attorney cost $1.3 million, and the police commissioner cost $464,948. It's don't do as I do, do as I say. Now, you folks out there in the streets of these cities, you don't need police protection because all the police are bad. Every apple in the bushel is bad and rotten, so we're just going to throw them all out. But I'm going to take care of me, my family. Yep. That's why the leadership in the left party is losing by big balances. People are leaving the party because that's the kind of leadership, that's the kind of hypocritical leadership they've got. And you see it all the way from the top down through the cities and the towns across America. Well, maybe one of these days we'll wake up and see, well, you know, I'm tired of all this, and vote them all out. Well, there's a new title in town with books. We've talked about this a lot, and you know I'm big on education. You know I'm big on reading. I interview a lot of authors here to get you encouraged about reading certain books. There's a new title in town that you can bet the woke set won't want anywhere near their titles. But it's very well maybe just what more conservative adults prefer their kids to set their eyes upon. Now, we've talked about the transgender books that they're putting in front of kids' faces now. In some of the school libraries, you'll find all that woke stuff. Now there's a more of a conservative angle to a children's book. It's called Elephants Are Not Birds. Elephants Are Not Birds. And conservative activist Arthur Ashley St. Clair calls it an unapologetic rebuke of the transgender agenda. Elephants Are Not Birds. It's the first title from Brave Books, which the New York Post reported will focus exclusively on stories for kids and offer parents a conservative alternative to the current cultural activism that our children are being taught in schools, in the entertainment they watch, and books they read. Company CEO Trent Talbert, who had his first child a little more than a year ago, conceived of Brave Books when he said he started to notice that there is a real war going on for the hearts and minds of our kids, and everywhere I looked, it was propaganda. He was alert, he was alive, he was seeing that there's a lot of propaganda out there and a lot of stuff going on that he wanted his kid to be subject to. The picture book Anti-Racist Baby, which urges parents and kids to make equity a reality as content that needs a counterpoint. He said, once my eyes were open, I was seeing it everywhere, and I couldn't unsee it. Talbot told the Post, I thought there was a need for books that could help parents teach the values they hold dear. What is Elephants Are Not Birds about? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. The paper said Elephants Are Not Birds is about an elephant named Kevin who likes to sing and then is convinced by a vulture named Culture that he actually must be a bird since he sings so well. But despite Culture bestowing this on him, he isn't able to do life as well by trying to be a bird. The book is an unapologetic rebuke of the transgender acceptance and the growing number of young people identifying as trans. Just because the elephant named Kevin loves to sing the vulture named Culture tried to convince him that he might be a bird instead of an elephant. You sing so pretty, you might be a bird. You get special attention now in the classroom if you say, "Hi, my name is not Billy, it's Amanda." The 22-year-old author told the paper, "I'm going to have a little boy in November and is scared to think he could come home and say," this is the author talking, "I'm going to have a little boy in November and is scared to think he could come home and say, my friends all identify something else. That's how I feel," and have my son crying because he's not put on hormone replacement therapy. As you might expect, leftists are popping blood vessels far and wide over this book called Elephants Are Not Birds and doing their snarky best to rip it to shreds. This is beyond vile, Twitter user The Big Gay Owl wrote about the book. I was like, this has to be a parody, but then I scrolled down to see Elephants Are Not Birds, and I stopped thinking this was a parody. One commenting tweeted. And these, what I'm used for vanity, are going to have blood on their hands, another user declared. Elephants Are Not Birds is available only on the Brave Books website through an offer to parents a book per month for $12.99 annual subscription, the Post said. So if you want to check it out, go to bravebooks.com, look for Elephants Are Not Birds, and you'll find more about it. The trans movement is coming for our kids, folks. Drag queens in story time in schools, propaganda on children's TV. They've added a transsexual to Sesame Street now. Sex ed forcing the transgender down the throats of American youth. They're coming after them. Got to do all we can to fight it off. Enough is enough. Elephants are not birds and boys are not girls. God did not make a mistake when he made boys and made girls. And when we allow teachers and librarians and people convince them that God might have made a mistake, he made you a boy, but you might need to be a girl. We got to stop that action, folks. We got to stop it. It's 8:47. I'm right here in the Blue Room, and Butch will be in the Blue Room with me in a little while doing My Great America. Right now, let's hear this.
It's our 30th anniversary, but you get the gifts. That's right, Carolina West Wireless is celebrating our anniversary and celebrating you in a big way with incredible savings, like $350 off a new iPhone 12 or a $150 credit when you bring in your own device. And as our special gift to you, get an additional $30 off any other device promo in our store. Stop by today and let's celebrate our 30th anniversary together. Carolina West Wireless, celebrating 30, celebrating you. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
I'm happy to share good news with you. If you have a septic tank on your property, you'll be glad to know there is a new professional pumper in town, Mid-South Pumping, owned and operated by one of our own, John Torvinen. Mid-South Pumping serves local communities such as Rutherford, Polk, Cleveland, McDowell, and Lake Lure, offering a wide variety of services at affordable prices. Get it done before summer gets here and really gets bad, if you know what I mean. Mid-South Pumping offers around-the-clock services to ensure your business doesn't become everyone else's. Count on Mid-South Pumping for pumping septic tanks, locating services, uncovering septic tank lids, and more. Make that call to Mid-South Pumping in Rutherfordton at 828-755-6280. 8:49, just a few minutes away from My Great America with Jim and Butch here in the Blue Room live today. You know, we've talked a lot and you hear a lot and you'll be accused of a lot and downgraded a lot, particularly if you have not had the vaccination. It's a public choice again. We all have that privilege of having it done. If we feel comfortable having it done, do it. If we don't feel comfortable, then that's your prerogative. But CNN, the liberal news television, all 24-hour newscast, CNN executive is floating the idea of punishing the unvaccinated. One executive inside CNN's leftist news regime is floating the idea of punishing Americans who don't want to take the experimental COVID vaccinations. That is known because one of the executives told that to another executive and mistakenly sent his email to conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The stunning revelation about CNN's chosen activism on the issue of COVID was among the points discussed by Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Tucker stays in a lot of hot water because he's exposing a lot of that crowd. Summit News explained the message apparently came from CNN Washington bureau chief, also the network's senior vice president, Sam Feist, although he wasn't identified. The email said, #news, a majority of unvaccinated Americans say they're unlikely to get the COVID-19 vaccine regardless of outreach efforts. And he continued, this is the point, reference carrot versus stick. The carrot is no longer going to work. Kirk, a recipient, responded, is it CNN's stated position now that they're going to try to administer medicine under the threat of punishment? What does the stick look like in CNN's world? The network immediately went into defensive mode with Brian Stelter taking to social media to charge CNN has 4,000 staffers. One executive sends an email about vaccine hostility, opining that the carrot is no longer going to work. Carlson obtained it, and his show turns it into an outright lie. CNN wants to use a stick on the unvaccinated. But the summit noted that CNN routinely broadcasts the talking point that people need to be coerced into taking the vaccine via threats and punishment. One of CNN's medical commentators, Jonathan Rayner, claimed it's time to being mandated vaccines. Another, Leanna Wen, who formerly led the Planned Parenthood abortion juggernaut, charged, quote, it needs to be hard for people to remain unvaccinated, end quote. In other words, punish them. Take away their rights if they choose not to be vaccinated. Kirk explained to Carlson that the CNN mistake in sending the email was helpful in that it confirmed the sentiment that individuals need to be punished should they choose not to participate in the medical community's experiments regarding COVID. And he wondered openly how such an email would be different should it be an insider note from a pharmaceutical company making and profiting off of vaccinations. Don't know. They're getting hostile out there because we're not jumping through the hoops like they want us to jump through them, and they get upset when that don't happen. A lot more stuff. I knew I wouldn't get around to all of it, but if you will let me know what you think about some of this stuff. I just get real uptight about the things that are going on that we just ignore, and I don't like for us to ignore those kind of things. They can tear us apart as a country. They can tear away the Judeo-Christian values. I don't like for them to spoon-feed our children in school with this propaganda, this left-wing propaganda about you can be a boy if you're a girl, or you can be a girl if you're a boy, those kind of things, and bring in transgender people in to read the books, or it's outrageous. And I'm not saying any of that's being done here, and I don't think it is. I'm checking pretty closely. But I was told the other night that this new agenda that they're trying to get in all the schools is not being offered in our Rutherford schools. So be sure about that. All right. I'm going to get out here and take a little break, rest of the old vocal cords, and drink a little water and make room for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up here in just a few moments. Meanwhile, we'll walk down memory lane with some of the classic oldies that I know you like and appreciate, and I'll be back about 9:05. Thanks for joining me for the morning wake-up call. Let's do this again tomorrow morning, bright and early. We start about 6 o'clock. Can you get up that early? Join me for the early morning wake-up call right here.
Be careful. 100.9 FM and 590.
Committee, Team USA, competing without the most decorated gymnast ever, Simone Biles, pulled out of the team events. ABC's Jim Ryan is there.
It was clear after her awkward landing in the vault rotation that something was wrong. Now USA Gymnastics says Simone Biles has withdrawn from the team final competition because of a, quote, medical issue. She is still slated to participate in individual events later in the week, but USAG says she'll be assessed daily to determine whether she will compete.
Great Britain placed third and got the bronze medal in the women's gymnastics finals. COVID cases surging in Tokyo since the Olympics began. ABC's James Longman is also in Tokyo.
There has been a huge increase in COVID cases here in Tokyo. More than 2,800 cases reported in the last 24 hours. That is more than double what it was on this day last week, and that's actually higher than at any point during the pandemic here in Japan. It is being fueled by the Delta variant.
The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riot begins its hearing this hour. Republicans on the committee include Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, both appointed by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Cheney says the American people need to know what happened.
They deserve to know about every phone call that was made in and out of the White House, every meeting, every discussion that was had that day in the White House as the Capitol building was under attack. And so the committee will go wherever it needs to go to get to the facts.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy boycotting the committee because his two GOP picks were rejected. He says Republicans will carry their own investigation forward.
If you want the true answers, do not be afraid of the questions that will get asked. And drive the evidence to wherever it comes forward.
He says they owe it to the nation to have an open and fair debate. The official hearing's just about to get underway. You're listening to ABC News.
Can you name the 3 habits of healthy hygiene? We shower, we brush our teeth, and we... Wait a minute. What third habit? Think about it. The pandemics reminded us that the nose is your body's filter against a constant invasion of airborne germs. Your nose traps allergens, bacteria, and viruses, but like any filter, the more it's clogged up, the less it works. Now it's easy to clean your nose with Navage. My name's Martin Hoke, and I did not invent nasal irrigation. It's been around thousands of years, but I did invent Navage to make nasal irrigation an easy habit for everyone. Navage uses powered suction to flush out germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you very sick. People love Navage. It has 4.7 stars with over 70,000 online reviews. And over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and select Walmarts. Make cleaning your nose your third habit. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
5 people are missing, several more hurt after an explosion at an industrial chemical complex in Germany. ABC's Tom Rivers is at the foreign desk.
A massive black cloud has risen above the accident site that's shaken the city of Leverkusen just north of Cologne. Officials are calling it an extreme threat. Residents are being asked to stay indoors with windows and doors closed. Highways have been shut down. Firefighters and pollution detection vans have been deployed. The blast is said to have taken place at an incinerator at the sprawling chemical park. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The first person to be tried under a sweeping national security law in Hong Kong has been found guilty of terrorism. Tong Ying Kit was arrested after driving a motorcycle into a group of police officers last year. More than 100 people have been arrested since that law was passed. North and South Korea have now reestablished a communication line that was cut off more than 2 years ago by the North. And a California 18-year-old is recovering after a terrifying encounter with a crocodile while she was swimming at a beach in Mexico.
All of a sudden it came up and then I felt heaviness on my leg and then I looked down and I feel like I'm getting pulled.
And Kenya Hummel was being pulled into the ocean in Puerto Vallarta by a 12-foot crocodile. She was able to get loose with the help of other people on the beach who managed to pry open its jaws and get her out. This is ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Highs are going to reach the upper 80s and lower 90s today, but feels like temperatures will jump into the upper 90s and triple digits for areas to the south. It's going to feel very muggy out there. We have another chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms. This time, they're mainly going to set up for areas to the south and drift towards the south throughout the overnight hours. We're going to fall into the low to mid 70s with highs in the lower 90s and feels like temperatures in triple digits tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Sunny skies, 70 degrees outside this morning. And we're going to be climbing up to pretty high today with a lot of humidity, so please keep that in mind as you're out and about. Please drink a lot of fluids, keep yourself hydrated. And we'll have that weather today, maybe a possible thunderstorm today and tonight. And then it all goes away for the weekend. Beautiful, beautiful weekend here in the Carolina foothills. It's 9:05. You're listening to WCAB.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Butch. Welcome back to the Blue Room.
It's great to see you,
My name's Jim Bishop.
And my name is Butch Maltby. My real name is Dwight Maltby. Dwight Allen. Yeah, I was named for
Dwight Moody.
D.L. Moody and Dwight Eisenhower. And you know what, Jim? It's great to be back. I want to make sure that people know right away at the start of this program today that on Thursday we've got a very special guest. State Senator Ted Alexander will be on. You've known him for a while.
Yeah.
He had very pleasant, kind, encouraging thoughts to say about you. So he's looking forward to that. I'll call in from Dallas. I'm leaving early again, back down to Dallas. And we've got the grand opening for Quick Lots that's going to take place there. 140,000 square foot store. It's going to be the largest retail liquidation store in America. And we talk about recreational shopping. Well, the person facilitating that is me. They built a crow's nest with a microphone system and microphones throughout there. And so I'm going out doing little interviews with people on the floor. What did you find? What did you buy? So My Great America down there in Dallas. But you know what? I love coming back here every time, even when I go into the restroom and see that somebody's been messing with my cubby.
No way.
Yes, Jim. Now listen, if I go in there and there are other people's belongings in there, I'll know that you've renamed the program My Great America with Jim and Jean.
We had a cleaning lady here yesterday. She might have done some cleaning.
Okay. Well, she's so sweet.
Yeah, Ella's
How was Ella yesterday?
Well, Ella's sweet as ever. Very efficient.
She is something else. You know, when she comes in, she's large and in charge, and all the oxygen goes out of the room, and you find yourself transfixed on whatever Ella's going to say next.
It's always important to her. She says some very profound things.
Well, she does. You know, when I first met her, she pulled me aside. You were in your office. She said, I want you to know something. And she said it with such authority. I said, what's that? She said, I love that Jim Bishop. So she is so sweet. And, of course, it's a family here with Lou and Todd and Tracy. You know, the thing about Todd is, I've told you this before, I never know what he's going to share or what he's going to say. It's informative. He was telling me this morning that he always wanted a trained attack monkey, and I have no idea where that came from. And Jim, sometimes I have no idea what to say. I have no idea what to say. But then I remember North Carolina has given us a plethora of vocabulary words that we can use in situations like that, or phrases. So in the moment, I found myself quickly going into that treasure chest of words and phrases, and I just said to him, isn't that something? Isn't that something?
Let me ask you, Butch, you're flying around a lot. You do a lot of flying. I guess the pilots must know you by first name now.
You know what? For 30 years, I was flying every week, and God changed my life. Those that have heard my testimony know that the wheels came off, and in my own sinful rebellion and hurt and pain and despair of that, I developed a very severe and sinful alcohol addiction. God's redeemed me from all of that. For that, I'm forever grateful. But I was on airplanes every week, and on American Airlines, they show me from the inception to date, the first time I was on their frequent flyer program, I've flown a little over 4.2 million miles to every inhabited continent, 104 countries around the world. So I'll be blunt. I really don't like flying anymore, and I won't do anything unless God tells me to do it. And so my life has really changed. I bumped into a couple of folks when I was down there in Dallas. A couple of folks knew that I was in town. I met with Larry Ross, that was Billy Graham's PR person, and he just said, Butch, so much about you's changed. It's not like you're completely different. I mean, you look the same. We're all getting older, but he said you just seem more settled and calm and at peace. And I said to him, I said, Larry, and again, this is the person that for 35 plus years traveled to every place around the world with Billy Graham. He was his media liaison and used to have incredible stories. He called me one time when Billy Graham was being interviewed by Larry King. And I guess Larry King had asked Dr. Graham a question, and Dr. Graham gave an answer that Larry hadn't expected, my friend Larry. So he called me and said, what do you think I ought to do? And I said, pray. But he just said you seem different. I said, well, Larry, there's a difference when your life is truly born again, and when you're led, you're not driven. I was a driven person. I was a workaholic from the time I was little. My mother actually says that some of the first words that I ever uttered was a question. It wasn't little words. It was a question. And I said, well, what was the question? She said, one of the first sentences you ever uttered was, what's next?
What's next?
What's next? Well, that says it all.
Yes.
I came 3.5 weeks early into this world. But you know what? There's just a difference when you surrender your heart to Jesus and you say, you know what, God? I just want to be a tool in your hands. I just want to be a tool in your hands. And he gives us the fruits of righteousness and obedience, and they come in simple little ways. Thursday evenings, I have a little group of young people, children, that I meet with, and I read books to them, try to make it dramatic and fun, and we talk about Bible stories and the like. And when I came back this last time, I had to leave again quickly. I had a couple of cards that they made for me, Jim. Yeah, so I believe it was Carson. Welcome home, Uncle Butch.
Uncle Butch.
Isn't that precious?
That's sweet.
You know what? You know what I would trade this for? Nothing. Welcome home, Uncle Butch. Here's another one I'm going to have to ask her about. This sweet, precious little young girl, Larissa. She's got a picture of an alligator, and it says, "Do unto others as you would have to do unto you." Butch, love, Larissa, and there's an alligator there. That's just poignant. That's pregnant with meaning, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's almost like, you better do unto others. You got the alligator there. That is just so precious. You know, these are deposits in the heart of a man that wondered if the flame of faith would ever flicker again, Jim. And, we had a wonderful meeting last night with the multi-denominational, it's a long name, Multi-Denominational County Clergy Reconciliation Council, or something like that, over at our church, Word of Faith Fellowship. So we had folks that were from Baptist and Methodist and AME churches and Missionary Baptist churches, hosted right there with an incredible spread of food. And we talked about the matter of racial reconciliation in our county. And I just looked around and I said, God, this is a miracle, especially for our church that's, endured so many folks at the rock pile throwing at us. And Jim, it was just a wonderful, precious, insightful time. And the evil one, Satan, and we know evil is real, hates it when the scripture that says how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together in unity. Satan hates when that happens.
I'm glad to hear they had that good response over to your church, that people from the community are coming out to do something like that.
Right, and I have to tell you one of the you would know the background on this, but one of the pastors said to me, or said actually to Mark Morris, not me, said, you know what? I didn't see any dungeons here. So anyway, it was just a wonderful time, and keep praying about that, because our heart is to make sure that we are salt and light in a dark and bland world. And as we do that, what's going to happen is people are going to see Jesus in us. And we sing a song at our church, "See Jesus in his people." We're the hands, we're the feet, we're the eyes, we're the ears of Jesus. And if we're born again, God works through us. And as he works through us, his good work, kingdom work, is done in the world. Now, Jim, I'm still on my education. I'm reporting back to you because you're like the grand master of something. Chess, the North Carolina chess. You know what these are?
Look like mud pie cookies.
Mud pie. Well, you know the way your friends are. This is for you, by the way. You know the way your friend is. I said, how in the world? That's yours.
Thank you.
Some people have called that diabetes in a package. It's a mud pie. But listen, so I found myself asking the question, where did those come from? Would you like to know?
I would like to know.
Okay,
that.
so here's what it says. These are called Mississippi mud pies. It's a chocolate-based dessert pie that is likely to have originated in Mississippi. Here's what it has in it. It's got gooey chocolate sauce on top of crumbly chocolate crust. It's usually served, Jim, with ice cream. Now, it was originally associated with the southern United States cuisine. Now, the dish has gained an international reputation in countries around the world. Hey, can we get one of those American mud pies? It's got this reputation around the world. And the name Mississippi mud pie is derived from the dense cake that resembles the banks of the Mississippi River.
Oh, really?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the rest of the story.
but it's healthy. See, it's got rolled oats in it.
Okay.
That's the main ingredient.
Yeah, you know what? That's the way so many of us, including me, have lived life. We just kind of justify things.
Yeah, it's got rolled oats in it.
I remember one time with our children, my wife their mother was out of town, and we did the shopping. And the shopping was always different when we did it.
Sure.
Right, than when Mom did it. And I remember trying to explain one time and to justify to them the sugared stuff we were putting in there, and I was trying to explain to them it's just different food groups of the same sugar group. But, we'll justify anything, and that, of course, is not what God's called us to do. I was in a conversation, Jim, recently on a plane, and I used the phrase Judeo-Christian values. You and I, here on My Great America with Jim and Butch, will often talk about Judeo-Christian values. And so the person asked the question, what does that mean? And I thought what might be helpful is, we're not going to unpack these and drill down on each of them, but I thought it might be helpful for us to put out as mile markers for conversations coming down the road.
Good.
With your permission,
yes.
What those different elements are of a Judeo-Christian foundation. So all I'm going to do right now is read through them, and then in the weeks ahead, we'll dive down deeper on each. The 7 principles of a Judeo-Christian ethic, which our country was birthed in, founded upon, and which we have nefarious attacks against today. The 7 principles are these. Principle number one, is the dignity of human life. All life matters. Mm-hmm. All life matters. Elder life matters. Disabled life matters. The life of the preborn matters. All life matters. Principle number 2 of a Judeo-Christian ethic is the traditional monogamous family. That's principle number 2. Principle number 3 is a national work ethic. Now, let me pause there for a minute. People would say, well, how in the world could that be a principle of a Judeo-Christian value? Well, it is because 2 Thessalonians 3:10 tells us, for all of you, we command you, that if anyone will not work, they will not eat. I mean, that's very simple in Scripture. You don't work, you don't eat. Principle number 3 is the national work ethic. Principle number 4 is the right to a God-centered education. And this is where history is so important. When you go back and look at the early roots of pedagogy, of teaching, of the educational system in the United States, our faith, God's Word, the Bible, was the centerpiece of it. It was the center of the educational universe. And so principle number 4 is the right to a God-centered education. Principle number 5 is the Abrahamic covenant, expressed in Genesis 12:3. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. Israel is not just another country. It is God's timepiece. It is God's barometer. Watch what's happening there, and you will know what's happening in the world as we know it. That's principle number 5. Principle number 6 is common decency. Common decency. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. If we take that gospel ethic literally, we're going to pierce to the heart of every racist person there is, because racism is sin. I said in the meeting last night, A government program is not going to legislate away a dark, evil heart out of which bubbles what? Bubbles terrible things, exclusion, shunning, attacking. We need to remember the principle of common decency. And then finally, principle number 7 is our personal accountability to God. Hebrews 9:27 tells us, Jim, that it's appointed unto all of us once to die, and after that the judgment. Each of us are going to stand alone. We're not going to stand with the Rotary Club. We're not going to stand with our church. We're not going to stand with our family. We're going to give an account for our life. So those 7 principles anchored together are what have created a foundation in this country so that when the earthquakes of compromise, attack, all the things you talk about in the morning that are so powerful, when those things come at us, we're not some ship without a rudder that's wandering all over the place, or a drunken sailor with good Lord, good devil, whatever's good for you is great for the country. That is not what God says. And so I think it's important maybe in the days ahead, we'll unpack those a little bit more.
I think that's great. I'm glad you brought that up because it's been a long time since I remembered all of those principles. I use the term Judeo-Christian values all the time.
Right.
But I'd forgotten what all those precepts were. That's great.
Well, and it's what we're called to each and every day. Satan is a great divider, and Satan is a great deceiver. It says of Satan that he's the father of liars, and there is no truth in him. And Jim, we're in a culture where people are recklessly throwing around what they claim to be truth when we know it's not truth. And God will speak to us. John 5:30 makes it very clear that Jesus heard from God, heard from the Father, and did only what he directed him to do. And I just want to implore you, if you're somebody who feels like your life is a wreck, and this is not an evangelism program per se, but it's impossible for Jim and I to talk about the matters of the day and not do it through the lenses, through the glasses of God's word and truth. If you get up in the morning and you say, I'm just going to see what the day is going to be, bring it on, you are going to find yourself buffeted like you're in a hurricane, and there's no need to be there. And Jim, you've seen a lot in your extended lifetime.
Well said.
Well said. You said it sounded like a politician, didn't it? We're supposed to speak truly. Both of us are of the same age cohort. We bubbled up out of the same generational cohort, and we're doing our best with the help of Jesus to make it every day. Make it every day. But you've seen a lot of the erosion of our values in your lifetime, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Just thinking about even in the school system, over the years growing up in school and having taught a couple of years in school, the kind of things that we were able to teach and be a part of, even organizational opportunities for high school. There were Bible clubs. You could be a part of a Bible club. Now, those kind of things have tossed out. And as I mentioned that story I had earlier this morning about a teacher condemned this young girl because she had a mask. She's wearing a mask, but Jesus loves me.
I know.
And how sad that is, that they can't even express themselves in that vantage point. It has come a long way since we grew up when we could acknowledge Jesus as part of our lives, and we can't do that now in school. Some will still do it, but it takes some courage for a teacher to do that.
Well, I can look back on my own life, and there at South Morrison Elementary School, a little bit late, it would have been maybe 4th grade, right there in Newport News, Virginia. We lived at 60 Arden Drive, and I was able to walk to school. Those were days where you could walk to school and feel safe about it. I was, because of the disability of my dad and his whole journey with Huntington's disease, our family was not a family that had a lot of money. He was in the Air Force, but it took a while for his disability to come through. I was on subsidized breakfast for 10 cents. That helped me get a good breakfast in the morning. I would walk to school, go to South Morrison Elementary School. Something happened. It was the drawing power of God when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I felt a lot of weight of sin, and I wanted my life to be one that mattered. And I went downstairs. From upstairs, it was 17 steps. I still remember it. And went down and said to my mother, I want to know Jesus. I want to know. And out of that was the drawing power of God. But she told me I used to take my Bible to school back then. And the teacher, I guess, at one point had to correct me a little bit because I was like a little fiery evangelist. I was walking around in the lunchroom with my Bible. I was 9, I think, and trying to share Jesus with people. So God makes all of us in different ways. And I can just see it now, with my butch haircut and my press pants and my Bible under my arm, walking around like a little Billy Sunday trying to evangelize people. But,
were you given a hard time by any of your buddies?
No. Well, it was really interesting, Jim, because I always had, from the time I've been little, anytime somebody has said that's a lost cause, I've always had it in me. No, it's not. Now, I will tell you that there were times where Satan almost killed me or allowed me through my own rebellion to die, because that if you say it can't be done, I'm going to show you it can be. I mean, that worked itself out in sinful ways where we'd be at a rock quarry up on a ledge with water down there, and people would say, I wonder if that's deep enough for us to dive in. And I'd say, let's find out. And I'd be the one to do it. Or we'd be at a construction site, Jim. It's terrible. I've had to repent of this. Construction site, and they would have done major construction site, all your friends, like Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer, you remember what that was like?
Oh, yes.
We used to have dirt clod battles. We'd throw dirt at each other with no protective eyewear, and it's like, you get over there, and we'll get over here, and then we start like mortars flinging it at each other. But they say, I wonder if somebody can skinny down through that earthen tunnel underneath there. And I'd be the one, it could have collapsed. God has protected me through his mercy so many times. So for whatever reason, I've always had in me a deep desire for justice, a deep desire for doing it the right way. And, it's so much better when God gets a hold of your life and you surrender everything to him. Now, before time runs out, see, I miss you, so that's why I'm talking so much.
I like it.
Okay. And you know what? We're both struggling with our allergies. You know what? If you've got a great homeopathic allergy remedy, Jim and I have been struggling, why don't you call 287-3356? Call 287-3356. I take Zyrtec every day, but if you've got a homegrown, legal, homeopathic remedy for allergies, post-nasal drip, all of that congestion, call 287-3356 and help us out. I want to tell you about a powerful book that I'm reading, Jim. The book is called Fault Lines, The Social Justice Movement and Evangelicalism's Looming Catastrophe. This book, which is now a bestseller, is one I'm encouraging you to pick up. It's by Vodi Bachman. And I'm just going to quickly read the covering for it. If you want to know how to get a hold of everything behind critical race theory, what the Bible says about the critical race theory, what the Bible says about race, this book is a must-read. I'm about halfway through it. Let me just read this to you real quickly. The death of George Floyd at the hands of police in the summer of 2020 shocked the nation. As riots rocked American cities, Christians affirmed from the pulpit and in social media that Black Lives Matter and that racial justice is a gospel issue. But what if there is more to the social justice movement than those Christians understand? Even worse, what if they've been duped into preaching ideas that actually oppose the kingdom of God? In this powerful book, Vodi Bachman, a preacher, professor, and cultural apologist, explains the sinister worldview behind the social justice movement and critical race theory, revealing how it already has infiltrated many seminaries, leading to internal denominational conflict, canceled careers, lost livelihoods like a fault line. It threatens American culture in general and the evangelical church in particular. Whether you're a layperson who has woken up in a strange new world and wonders how to engage sensitively and effectively in the conversation on race, or a pastor who is grappling with a polarized congregation, this book offers the clarity and understanding to either hold your ground or reclaim it. This book is powerful, powerful. So I'm going to leave it here, Jim, at the station. Fault Lines. Pick that up when you get a chance.
I want to read it. That's great. Thanks for sharing it with us. Our time's come and gone again.
Our time has come and gone again. But you know what, folks? Do yourself the most eternal favor that you can do. Find God worth the knowing. Find Jesus worth the knowing. And all of a sudden, the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Set your affection, it says in Scripture, on things above, not on things on the earth, for we are dead and our life is hidden with Christ in God. Make that your first priority. Find Jesus worth the knowing. And all of the mess that we confront every day, that if you're not aware of it, just listen in the morning and Jim will articulate it well. All of that mess will find a sense of peace and order and purpose in your life, I promise.
Have a safe trip. God bless America.
God bless America. Listen in for Ted Alexander, State Senator Ted Alexander, on Thursday.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.